I don't know about you guys, but I think this show is just getting better and better. Today's episode was on point. Like, seriously, it felt like it's right out of a movie. The music and the OST, the music and the OSTs were very nice. I also really love the today's atmosphere of today's episodes. It was very introspective. I don't know. It feels more like a KyoAni video, like KyoAni episode. Or I'm not saying it was a KyoAni video, but it kind of had the vibe of a ish. It sort of had the vibe of a KyoAni episode. Today's episode on point. Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Eddie, and episode 2. Episode 2 aired yesterday. It's actually today where it is now, because it's the 14th here, but it's yesterday for everyone that's watching right now. So, today's episode was also really nice. I'm really, we got a lot of character development for all the Quints in the group. Well, first off, there's Itsuki. I think because back in season 1, Itsuki was kind of the odd one out. She never really received that much attention. I think season 2 is the one where she starts to become a more interesting character. Same for Nino. I've heard all the manga readers saying this is when you're all gonna start to love Nino, and I do think so. I'm starting to see a lot of potential for character development here. But all that aside, Itsuki's she's kind of now the funny one of the group, as we saw in last episode. She finds a dead, or it's actually sleeping Futaro. And that was really cool. The conflict between the 5 sisters over Futaro's presence I think it was very well executed, and Nino and Itsuki, the 2 tsunderes of the house, leaving the house was kind of unexpected, but it was also pretty surprising. It's also interesting how, despite the fact that the conflict between Itsuki and Nino initially started as a conflict between Miku and Nino, because, Miku and Nino usually butted heads with one another, and they were always a little, I'm not saying they're on bad terms, they were always a little belligerent with one another, but I still found it interesting how that eventually escalated and turned into a battle of Itsuki versus Nino, as opposed to Miku versus Nino, which was, I don't know, I just found it interesting how Miku versus Nino kind of escalated into the whole Itsuki and Nino both decide to leave the house sort of situation. Looking back on it, I also realized that this entire incident could have probably been avoided if Nino's favorite show and Miku's favorite documentary weren't on at the same time. Just some food for thought, just saying. Also, the slaps were pretty funny. I know they're supposed to be, super serious, but I kind of chuckled to myself when I saw the slaps. Nino going to a fancy hotel? Oh, interesting. I guess I should have seen that coming, although I was like, oh, that's interesting. Though I definitely saw Itsuki staying over at Futaro's house I saw that coming from a mile away. Immediately after Yotsuba said, oh yeah, was it Yotsuba? She said, oh yeah, she left her wallet at home. I was like, well, now I know where she's gonna go and stay, because especially after how I knew how well she gets along with Raiha, and she basically has nowhere else to go. Seriously though, Itsuki had so much development in this episode. I would even go as far to say that she was probably the MVP of this episode. Also, I know Futaro, shocked, or cursed Futaro, as I call him. I know shocked Futaro's nose shadow is just supposed to be a shadow of his nose upon the little indenture thingies we all have upon our mouths, but I don't know, man. My mind takes me to a more cursed era. I don't know, does this not remind you of anyone? The conversation Futaro has with Itsuki it's also very interesting, because it shows that, first off, we get a bit of information on the Quint's mom. Although that actually brings up a question. Who's the Quint's original dad? Anyways, the Quint's mom, and we basically get to, see how they weren't always these, rich girls that, we know them as. They weren't always like this. So I thought that was another really interesting, that was another really interesting thing Futaro and Itsuki talked about while on a walk outside. So I don't know, that was pretty interesting, and I hope we get to see a bit more lore on how the Quints were before, they got like before they started living with their stepfather and stuff. Which I realize he's the stepfather now, not just the dad. Futaro searching with Miku, that was pretty fun, and I really like the joke on like how Miku basically uses the fact that she looks the same as Nino, or like all the Quints to just like find her. I was like, oh, have you seen a girl that looks like this? Oh yeah, I saw him. I thought I saw one walking over there. I asked the what's the room management. I lost my key, and they just gave me the key to, and they just gave Miku the key to Nino's room because they look the same. That was really nice. Like seriously, also that ribbon grab. Like Nino, I'm really sorry. Kintaro doesn't exist. But like really, that ribbon gave me Your Name vibes. I trust me, I love that kind of stuff. And while Nino still hasn't quite graduated out of her quote unquote bitchy self yet, I do see a lot of potential for growth in this season. Also, it's really interesting to see like the realistic aspects of like having so many like I guess girls around, like friends, whatever you call them right now. Like, Futaro tries to take care of all of them. And I know everyone here, everyone watching this show is like, oh, I wish I had my own harem. But here's the thing. You really see the realistic side and all the downsides of having such a harem. I mean, like, they're so hard. I mean, I don't want to say control because, like, you're not supposed to control other people. But just everyone, like, nothing ever goes to plan. Nothing ever goes to plan. Also, that line about Futaro drowning and like he's like, uh-oh, my mind's going to a dark place. That hits hard. Futaro, are you okay? I mean, as I said, I guess it's kind of hard for Futaro to like get along with all the 5 Quints at the same time. I do see the point of that. Or well, more specifically, Nino, because all the other girls were pretty reasonable in this one. The meeting with the mysterious Quint at the end that one was really dreamy and inspiring. Like that was just Futaro's imagination, right? I mean, it has to be. Like he ran to Yotsuba at the end, and I was like, it can't be her because her hair is too long. But then again, I was like, this also rules out Ichika now that I think about it. So that's 2 out of 5. It can't be. It's probably just his imagination. Also. Why did Futaro suddenly decide to go swimming after that? I don't quite understand, but all I know is that at the very end of the show, we could kind of see Nino warming up to Futaro. So I thought that was really nice. That was really nice. Nino's working up to Futaro, and I think I really like the direction this anime is going in. Alright, there were a few derpy moments in the very beginning of the show, but that's okay. Like, the show overall, I think it's going great. I realized that, speaking of the animation, that was really good as well. The animators really made, I think they especially made look Nino pretty with this new art style, which, I don't know, I just think that's pretty interesting because, like, back in the old, like, Nino and Itsuki back in season 1, like, I feel like the animators gave a bit less attention to them. But now that Nina, in this new season, I feel like all the Quints are getting the proper representation, or visual representation they deserve, so I thought it was really nice that, like, the art style is, I mean, we've lost the nice thighs, but still, I think it's, I think the new art style is much better. I mean, seriously, though, they made Nino look really pretty in this episode. Just saying. And I think that's all I have to say for yesterday's technically episode 2. Honestly, I think that's all I have to say for episode 2. But I forgot to tell you something. You remember when I first told you about the this whole series review at the very beginning of the show, at the very last episode? I realize now that I'm also watching Attack on Titan, which airs on a different day, and I realize that theoretically speaking, I could release an Attack on Titan video for that day, but I don't know. I feel like there's so many people already doing that there's kind of no point in me trying to point all that stuff out. So yeah, I'm kind of sorry about that because I forgot to mention I was also watching Attack on Titan, which I'll do a review for as well. But yeah, that review is just going to be one giant bundle review at the end of the season, so. And also, that's not coming for another few weeks. multiple weeks. So that's kind of far ahead in the future. But yeah, that was today's episode. And a little add-on about why I'm not going to do Attack on Titan, even though I don't know if I'm more invested in this or Attack on Titan now that I think about it. Anyways, but yeah, that's all that is for today's review. I hope you all like that, folks. If you did, smash like, subscribe, and comment. Because if you don't, you will imagine your childhood crush, and then you will fall into an ocean, and then you'll get super wet, and you'll catch a cold, which will be super nasty. So, yeah, that's that. Sky's up, and you guys are awesome. I hope to see you all next week, because I'm really hyped for Quintessential Quintuplets. Oh god, this is a good show. Oh, by the way, Miku is still best girl. Just saying.